Hello everyone. Very good afternoon to you all. Hope you and all your family members are safe and healthy. Now I will just go for the webinar. I welcome you all for this live webinar Altium 365 Enhanced Component Management. So I am Rajeshwari, Field Application Engineer. Okay, support of PCB GraphTech and ACAD Solutions. Now let us go to the agenda. So in this agenda, the first topic is Altium 365 overview. So here we are going to see about what are the plans for Altium 365 Standard and Altium 365 Pro. Second topic is component creation. So where we are going to see how to create a component and how to edit the component. Then component management in Altium 365, where we are going to see about the life cycle management, component validation, BOM checks, and we see some more topics there. Okay, so finally you will have question and answer session. If you have any questions, you can type in the chat or you can ask me in the end of the session. Okay, so now we'll go for the first topic, Altium 365 overview. I can see somebody raised hand. Okay, so let me finish my webinar and later I can discuss with you all. Okay, so first topic is Altium 365 overview. So in this we are going to see the plans of Altium 365 is Altium 365 Standard and we have Altium 365 Pro. So there are two different categories here. So first, let us discuss about Altium 365 Standard. Okay, so in this, firstly, we are using this Altium 365 Standard. What we can do is we can share the file, we can view the file, and we can comment on your design files inside your web browser. Okay, so you can also do it inside your Altium Designer software also. All you need is you have to be under subscription of your Altium Designer software. That's all. Okay, so same thing, if you're sharing your file inside your Altium Designer software to your team members or to your colleague, so the person whom you share, the member, should be also under subscription when they want to edit the file inside the Altium Designer software. Okay, but no need to be inside the no need to have under the subscription when you are accessing through the web browser. Okay, all the member need is only the Altium Live account. So if they have the live account, they can go to the web browser, they can edit the file, they can comment the file, and they can share the file. Okay, so here when we share in the web browser, unlimited number of users can access the workspace, okay, inside the same organization. Okay, so finally, the Altium 365 Standard here can be used to share the ECAD file to the mechanical designers for modifications by using the mechanical software like your SolidWorks, PTC Creo, and Inventor by using Altium 365 Standard itself. Okay, so these are all the features under Altium 365 Standard. So when you go for Altium 365 Pro, okay, it includes along with the Standard, there is a Altium Concur Pro. Okay, so it is used to connect your Pro along with your, the Concur Pro, which is hosted in Altium 365. That is called Altium 365 Pro. Okay, you should have a license under subscription. So you can renew it under annual subscription. Okay, so what are the benefits when you use this Altium 365 Pro is you can maintain your life cycle management, operational permissions. It means when you give the permissions under the user or roles to your customers or the users. So you have this settings, then the component templates and the out job templates. So all these new features we have in this Altium 365 Pro. Okay, so now we will go for the component creation. So how to create a component? What are the challenges we face when we create a component? Okay, so first thing, if you want to create a component, you have to consider what are the parameters needed. Okay, so when you see parameters needed, you have the value, the stock, the tolerance, all these informations you need. Okay, other than that, you may have your own parameters to be added also. Okay, these are all the challenges you face when you create your own components. Okay, so next thing, grouping of components. It means when you create a capacitor, for example, so you don't know where to put the capacitor, because when grouping you will have resistor, capacitor, connector, diodes, so many components. So what we need to do, we have to group them, like capacitors one group, then diodes one group, then resistors one group. So these are another challenge you face when you group your components. Then final challenge, if you see the locations, component location. So the designer will be creating his own components, the symbol, the footprint in his local PC, and he save in his local drive. Okay, so when you share the file to his colleague, and he may edit the components. So when they edit it, automatically there will be difference between one component and the other component. So we don't know the revisions. Okay, so what happened, there will be difference in the components and we don't know which is the correct one. So we need a centralized location and manage the component under one revision. Okay, so this is the next challenge we face. So how we overcome these challenges? We see here, okay, the solutions. The best solution we have is under this Altium 365 workspace, we have this component template. So for each group, we have the component template, which you can see in the picture. There is for connectors, oscillators, the Schottky diode. So what happened, using that template, you can create a component. So what have in the template will have the parameters. You can edit the parameters under the template and you can use it. Okay, so once you create the component and you can see the revision scheme and whom you want to share. So all these informations you can have it and you can do it inside the Altium 365 workspace. Okay. Now, okay, before going to the management, we will go for the demo for this component creation. Okay, I will open my software. Okay, first step, you need to see we are inside your workspace first. So I am inside my workspace, my company. So I'm going to create a new component and show you how to do it. Okay, so for creating a component, you can go to the file, new, then you will see there is a component. So click on the component. So automatically it is connecting to my workspace, the component list here, folders, and then you can choose here under which you want to create the component. Okay, so now I'm going to create the component under this integrated circuits. So I just select the integrated circuits and under this memory. It means I'm going to create a memory component. Okay, so click OK. So the page opens like this. So in this, the first very good thing you can see is there is some default templates you have. Okay, in this template, like your temperature, supply voltage, memory size. So you have so many parameters. So you can access the parameters here directly. Okay, for example, I want to give the power value. So I just give my power value to be 10 volt. Okay, and then press enter. So the system can recognize the power cannot be in the unit of volt. Okay, that's why I say it's not a valid value for power. Okay, so then we just click OK. Then I change it to be 0.1 watt. It means the power, the unit is watt. So I change to be zero point 0.1 watt. Then I enter. So it automatically recognizes and changes to be 100 milliwatt. Okay. Then if you want to add any parameters, you can still add the parameters here. Okay, new parameters you can add. And then if you want to edit, you can also edit the parameters. So next, when you come this side, you will see there is a models, add symbol, footprint, simulation. So when I want to add a symbol, I have some options like I can create a new visa, new symbol. When I click new, I can go to the schematic library editor to create a new symbol for my component. I can do that, or I can go to the wizard. So I can use the symbol wizard to create the symbol. Or if you have any existing symbol you want to use, you can also use it. Okay, you can choose these options. Then same thing you can do for add footprint. If you want to create new, you can go to PCB library editor where you can create your new footprint, or you can go to the IPC compliant standard wizard in PCB library to create a new footprint. Okay, or if you have any existing footprint, you can also use it. Okay, you can do all this here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new component. I'm just going to go for manufacturer part search to get a component. Okay, so to go for that, go for panels. You can see manufacturer part search. Okay, so now I open this manufacturer part search. Here I can just search for a component here under this here. Go for the integrated circuits here. Okay, so under integrated circuits, I want only the memory. So there are different memories are there here. So I just click on the memory. You will see the before RAM memory, EEPROM. So I can choose which memory I need for my for component. So I choose the RAM memory. So when I choose, you will see there is a default, this many components I have, 26,487. Now I can filter the components based on my request. Okay, so just click on the filter button. You will see the filters options here. So I just want to filter the component, memory component based on my FPGA. So the first filter option I use. So automatically you will be able to see my component level reduced to 9926. Okay, so once this has done, still you can filter your component. I want to filter based on my supply voltage. So I use my supply voltage as 1.5 volt. So you still it has been filtered to 125. Okay, so now you will see the components are available here, and then followed by the component, you can see there is a supplier part numbers. There are 4 supplier part numbers available. Okay, if you just click on the arrow mark, you will see there is a green color and the red color. Okay, it means that this is stock available. You see the stock available is 3507, so you can use it now, whereas the other one is red color, stock is 0. So all these informations you can refer it here before you select the component from here. Okay, then followed by you can see there is a green color line. So this green color line is a good feature. They are telling us that there is a volume production of component is available. Okay, then when you come below, you see the color changes to red color. So this red color says that the component lifetime has been end. It is absolute life. Okay, so the life has been end. Then when you come to the white color, it is unknown. Okay, the life cycle is unknown here. Then followed by, you can see the component here with the model symbol. Okay, it means the components have their own models, which was given by our Altium developers to tell us that the models are available. Okay, so now I need to click on this component. I want to see the information of this component. So I just drag it here, and then automatically the information of that component you will see on the right hand side. Okay, you will see, you can download here and then see the details of the component. So you have your symbol, you have the footprint, all these informations under this information details. So data sheet, okay, alternative part choice, all the information you have here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this component inside my Altium 365. So to get this into my server, just right click and you can acquire it. So once I acquire, it will automatically come to our Altium 365, the components panel. Then you need to go for your integrated circuits, the memory. So it means I want to save this component under this folder of memory. Okay, so just click OK. So once you click OK, at the background you can see it will be open inside your create component location. Okay, so once it is done, I'm just closing my manufacturer part search. So here again, you will see the name comes with here, the description, and then you will see the parameters are autofilled here with the parameters of the component, which we brought from the manufacturer part search. Okay, so we are also able to see the advanced settings, what is the component ID and where this is located. Okay, in the component integrated circuits and with inside the memory folder. So all this information. And next thing, I want to edit this component footprint and the symbol. So how to edit it? You can just click on the edit button so you can edit it off. Okay, so you can see automatically it opens inside your PCB library editor. Then if you want to edit, for example, I just remove this dot. So I removed it and then I need to save this first. Then I open my component here, editor. Inside the component editor, you will not see the dot here. Same thing, I want to edit my symbol. You can just click the edit button. It will take you to your schematic library editor. Okay, so here I want to rotate the component. Example, I just want to rotate it, use the space bar and I rotate it. Then I just save this file and then open it in my component. You will see that the component is rotated here. Okay, so you can use all this. Then and in your left hand side, you will able to see in the parameters, still you can also edit the parameters here. If you want to edit the parameters, for example, I want to use RoHS compliant. Yes. Okay, then you will be able to see the part choice information. So once you have done all this, I want to release it to my server. So the very good feature we have is it will validate the component when I release it to the server and it will show you the errors. Okay, so I'm just going to see here, save current document as unrevision. Okay, I'm releasing to the server. Okay, you will see here the error first. So the error missing pin. So if you have to clear the error and then you have to save it inside your server. Now I want to release it to my server here. I just click to release. So release new component to my server. Okay, so once you type it, you can just click OK. So you can see the file has been released to your server. So now I will just close this error. So the component has created and released. So to see that component, you can go to the panel, go to component panel, and then you will be able to see here under the, yes, memory, it is already filtered. Yeah, you can see the component here. Okay, so I select the component and you can see the details of the component here. Okay, the symbol, the footprint, all the informations you can see here. So it is available inside your server. Okay, this is how you can create the component, edit the component, and you can save it to your Altium 365 server. Okay, so next thing we are going to go for the, okay, we are going to see about the component management here. So what are the challenges we face? Okay, so as I told you before, when you create a file or when you create a component and it is shared between the 2 or 3 person, the revision state is one of the issue you face. Then the component life cycle. Okay, so it means when you're creating the component life cycle, to whom you're sharing, is to public, or is you're sharing to the librarian correct person, or you can prevent from sharing to a person. That means you can share to a person and prevent that person to edit your file. Okay, these options we have in 365. So these are all not happened before. Okay, so this component lifecycle have some of the issues before, and we are going to overcome that in our Altium 365. Okay, so then there was also a faulty component release. We are not able to identify based on the component placement in your board. Okay, so then component approved. Okay, the component should be approved before you're placing it in your PCB board. Okay, it's based on the status like draft state, or it is a obsolete state, or it is a design state, or it is a release state. So we need to have the approval from the higher official. So what are the solutions we are going to see under this component management? So first one, we have this option of ERC check, error rule checking in our web browser itself. Okay, so when you share the file to your members, then you can open the file and then you can see how to see whether the component is component revision is out of date, or is there any floating net labels. You can see it here in the picture I can show. You will see the revision is out of date, floating net label, no driving source. So all this you can see it in the web browser itself. No need to have the software for this. Okay, so next one also we have the validation. So when you release the component, when you release your PCB board to the manufacturer, at that time you should know whether the component is in the design state or it is in the obsolete state before you release to the manufacturer. Okay, this you can identify now under the out job. Okay, this I will show you in the demo. And next is life cycle accessible. How the life cycle can be accessed by the designers is they have the option that whether they can only view the component or they are allowed to edit the component. Okay, this is allowed only by the admin of the group. Okay, then we also have the BOM checks under active BOM. So you can set like component revision is out of date. You can do that and you can make it to be error or fatal error or warning. All these settings you can do by yourself now. Okay, so this I will show you in the demo now how to work on all these features. Okay, so let me close my component. I just open a project. So open project. So I have a project here and then I just open it. Okay, so now I'm just going to open a project here, the bill of material. Okay, so I have opened one page. In this in this software, you can see at the top you have Altium 365 workspace. If you want to connect your Altium 365 directly from the software to the workspace, you can also do that. Just click from here. You can go to your browser by click on My Altium 365. It will take you to the browser, your account. Okay, so now it has taken to my page. You will see my name, and then you will see my workspace here. Then I'm just going to go for the project here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open a project and then show you how to see that ERC. So I just open here. Okay, so now I open a project. So here I will see all my schematic sheet and PCB sheet. So now inside this navigator, you will be able to see there is a ERC report and the DRC report. Okay, so click on the ERC report. So you will see all the ERC report, error rule checking, what you have done in your schematics. Okay, so once it opens, it will show all the violation, all the details here, and then you can just click them and see directly live in your location of your schematic document. Okay, it is still loading for me. Okay, yeah, it's still loading. So here you can also see your floating net labels. You can see your component revision out of date, all the information. It will zoom in to your particular that component, or it will zoom you to the particular net where you have the floating net label. So all this you can be seen here. It's still loading for me. Okay. It's still loading. Okay, loading. I think my internet is a little bit slow. Let it load it for a while. I will just go to the software and then we will see the another feature before it loaded. I don't know why it is slow now. Okay, so we go to the software. So before going for ERC check, let me show you something in the bill of material, active bill of material. So we are opened in this page. So here you will be seeing, I have based on your name, description, different columns I have. Okay, so under these columns, you will be able to see the components like not recommended for your new design. And then you can also see obsolete components. And then last, you can see the BOM status. This BOM status is I is the information, meaning no manufacturer part number rank, then no selected with NR, it is not recommended. It means NR FND means not recommended for life cycle state. Okay, so all these can be set under this properties. Okay, you can go to the properties, you will see there is a BOM check. If you want to filter them and see, you can just click on the filter to see them here. You will be able to see them. Okay, I uncheck here now. Then you have the option to set your BOM check. So click on the check option. So you will be able to see here the report mode, which mode you want to show it. So first you want to show the component revision is out of date. Okay, so you see it is out of date. You want to show it whether as error, or you want to show it as a fatal error, or you want to show as a warning. You can choose from here. Okay, so now it is a error default. I just leave it. You can also see there is a duplicate designator. So all these informations you can select here. Okay, so I just click OK, come out of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a component and then, I'm going to select a column here. I want to see the revision state and revision status. Okay, now I cannot see that column here. So to see that, just right click on the top, you will be able to go for select columns. Then come down, you can see there is a revision state and revision status. Okay, so just click OK. Yeah, Now you will see under the revision status, the component has out of date. Okay, and then you will see there is another component out of date. Free components is out of date, and you will see the state shows obsolete here. Okay, now I need to select the component and I need to update it to up to date latest version. So holding the control key, you can just select the component. Then right click, can go to operations and then update to the latest version. So latest revision, just click here. So you will be seeing loading data. Okay, so my data is loading here. Since it is based on the internet, yeah, it has been done here. So now I need to refresh here. So once I refresh here, you will be able to see it is an up to date here. Yeah, you can see here it has changed to up to date, and then the revision state changed from obsolete to draft. Okay, so you can see all the three component has been changed up to date. Okay, then if you want to change a component, if you want to add in the component, you see here there is no manufacturer, part number, details, all this. So I want to bring in the component information. So I just go here, go for add solution, then you can create or edit your manufacturer link. Then I just click on add button. It will take you to manufacturer part search. So for that component, okay, so here it is not able to find with this component here. So I just close here. Maybe I can go for some component here. Let me see here. Okay, I search. Yeah, you will be able to see the component here, and then you will see supplier part numbers. Okay, there are so many supplier part numbers. You can see there are 14 available are here. All you can see refer here. And then I want to bring in this component. So to bring this, I can just click OK. Okay, you will see the stock is available, and then I just going to give OK. So you can see the details here. So volume production is there, and then you will see it's under information since no manufacturer part number. So to clear this no manufacturer part number, what you can do is you can rank here. So for example, I rank here, automatically the information has been cleared. Okay, so you will get this information to be clear. You can do it here. Okay, so now we'll go to the browser. Oh, still it is loading here. Let me try my again. I don't know whether I'm trying again to open the file. Whether it's slow or not, I don't know. Very slow. Okay. I'm trying again. Still very slow. Okay, let me continue this feature later. Okay, I will just go for the next feature. I will try to show it by end of this session. Okay, we'll go for the life cycle. Okay, as I told you, how to access the life cycle to the designers. So for this case, you can go to your admin, and then you will see the roles you can access, you can assign for the people inside your organization. So you can see the admin, engineer role, librarian role. You can create the role here, and you can edit the roles. Okay, then you can go for settings. So under setting, the life cycle definition. So here you have so many life cycle definitions here, like your generic life cycle, component life cycle, extension life cycle. Next, you can also create your own company life cycle, and then you can add in the states like draft state, your design state, your prototype state, then your release state or your obsolete state. What state you want, you can do it. Now we will just go with this component life cycle. Okay, so when I open this component life cycle, you will be able to see the stages here. Okay, so on the top right corner, you can see there is a redraw diagram. If you don't want this diagram, you can redraw by yourself. Okay, so otherwise, next, if you want to add the state to the diagram, you can add the state. So for example, I click the state here, automatically a new state, you can create it here. So if you don't want this state, you can close it off. Then you can view this in the panels. All this information you can see below. It means the visible in panels, then allowed to be used in design. So, okay, what are these? Here, all the green button here is public. It means it is all accessible by the public. Okay, so if I want to, then there is also approve needed. If I want to make it non-public, it means I want to allow only the certain person to access. Like I want to allow only my PCB designer to access. So you can change from public to non-public. Okay, so how to do that is you can just click here and then automatically you will see the transition properties. So under transition properties, you will see it is a public state now. Okay, I don't want it to be public. I want it to be assigned only to my certain peoples inside my organization, like under the roles of PCB designers or librarians. So I remove here and I'm going to add the role. So I just type in the role of PCB designers. So I just click here, then I save. So once you save, then you can save it here. You can see here, it is not public now. Only certain people can do the access here. Okay, that is changing from draft to prototype and to edit or view the details. Okay, so here you can see from state by state, you can draw yourself and it goes from draft to prototype, prototype to production, and production to obsolete. So finally, from obsolete, it goes to the draft state. Okay, so all these you can do it inside your web browser itself under the lifecycle definition. Okay, so this feature is very good now. Then next thing is we are going to see about the last one is the library migrator. The next topic we are going to see is the library migrator. Okay, so in this library migrator, what we are going to see is how you can, from your design file, how to migrate your library to your server. Okay, so what special here is they will be categorize the components to their particular groups. It like if your file have a capacitor, resistor, LED, all this, they will go to their own group. They will split and go to their own group inside the server. If they don't have the group inside the server, they will go under uncategorized group. Okay, so like this they will be split here. So we'll see how it works inside the software. And what is the advantage when you use this library migrator is you will be having your able to see your lifecycle management, and it is a centralized storage in one location. You will also have where used functionality and the multi-manufacturer part choices. So all this information you can see inside your server. Okay, let us see how it works. So I will just open my software, then go to file. I open my project. Here, I just open my, okay, one of my project here. And then I open my library. So I have a library. So I click on library, right click. So you will see there is a migrate your library. So what are the libraries you can migrate is you can migrate your schematic library, you can migrate your PCB library, you can migrate your integrated library, all your libraries you can migrate. So now I'm migrating my integrated library. Okay, so click on. Okay, so once you migrate, you see automatically the components from this audio amplifier has split to the capacitor, the resistor, uncategorized. So they split automatically here. Okay, and then the component also goes to based on the symbol, the footprint, all goes here. Now I'm going to go for advanced option to edit when they migrate. Okay, so click on the advanced option. You will be able to see the properties panel and then the library migrator here. Okay, so now you see all the components, the capacitor, all these here, and then you will have certain columns. These columns can also be edited here. Now in your left hand side, I have under the general, you have the folder, the components, the component type. So here you have the naming scheme, and then you can select your, sorry, it is not under general. Okay, under general, if you want to select where you want to put this component folder, so you can create your own component folder like audio amplifier. Okay, if you want to add any template, you can use it off. Otherwise, you can just leave it. Then you have the parameter mapping. So there is some default parameter mapping from your source library with the default parameter here. If you don't have that parameter, it will automatically skip for you from your source don't have. Okay, then you can also do the port choice mapping. Okay, very good thing we have in our library migrator is validating. So it validates your components. Okay, and then only it will migrate. So now I'm going to migrate it here. Before migrate, I validate my component. So you will be seeing that I have some warnings only. There is no error message. So I just close it here, and then I'm going to migrate it. So I just click on migrate. Okay, so when I click on migrate, you will see there is a migrate ignore violations. Yeah, I need to ignore it and migrate it. So now it is releasing to the locations also, you can see here. Okay, now you can see it is successfully done and the migrated components. So if you want to see it in the log, you can open the log and see the details. Okay, so now I'll just close this. You will see the log like this. So the component has successfully migrated where it is migrated. All this you can see here. Okay, so I will just go to my panel. Under this, I can go to Explorer. Now I need to see, you see, I have my audio amplifier here. So audio amplifier, all the components comes here, whatever I have migrated there. Okay, now when you bring in the component, the very good thing is you will see below the preview, the life cycle, what I told you inside the slide, life cycle, you can see it is today's date timing. Now I have released it. Then the part choice. If the component have part choice, you will see, otherwise you can add it from your manufacturer part search. Then where it is used functionality and origin data sheet. If you have any data sheet, you can add in the data sheet here. Okay, so all these features we have when you bring in your component. Then inside this component, you can also change the state. If I want to change the state from draft to the next state, so you can just right click and then go for operations and then go for change state. So click on change state. You will see the change current state is draft and you can change to prototype state. Okay, if you want to change to prototype, it will automatically do the validation for you. Okay, so it will do validation and then it will change for you. So I just do process. Yes, if you have any note, you can give here. Otherwise, yes. Okay, so here I refresh. Okay, so it has changed and then you can see the state has been changed here. Okay, so this is how you will be seeing the changes. So finally, I would like to show the validation feature inside your out job. Okay, to show that feature, let me go for the out job. Under the setting, out job. Yeah, so I'm just going for my output job file, assembly out job. So here I would like to show you the component validation before you release to your manufacturer. Because when you release to the manufacturer, your assembly, your fabrication file details, they have to validate whether the component is in the draft state or obsolete state, or they need to check these details. So for that, we go here, add new validation output. Under this, you will be seeing component states. So click on the component states, you can go to the project. So now you will see the server's component state check. Okay, so to check the component state, you can double click on this. So you will see the server object state validation. To check your component validation, you can just scroll down, go for component lifecycle. Here you can see the component is under the plan state, obsolete, all these. So now I want to, before releasing the component to the manufacturer, I want to show it as error if the component is obsolete. If you want to change that, you can change here. Go to warning or error, you can choose this. Same thing I can do for draft, all this. Okay, you can change here again. So it means before releasing, it will tell you that your component is under this state. So you can be under precautions. Okay, all this you can do here. Okay, so this is about your out job. Let me see my error rules checking here. Let me see the component. Okay, I think still it is loading. Let me try one more time. I just go to my project, then open my project. Yeah, taking for a while. Here you can also see your bill of material of your project. All the details will be available here. Still loading. Okay, I think it's taking a long time. Never mind. Sorry, maybe next time I can show this feature to you. I will just go to the bill of material. So under bill of material, yeah, you will be able to see all the component details here. Okay, so you can see this bill of material information. Now, if I want to see the component which I have created inside my Altium Designer software, inside the web browser. So how to see it is, we can just go back. You can go to the project panel. So you can open your component panel. So under component, you will see there is an integrated circuits. So under integrated circuits, you may see that component what you have released. I think here, it is here, MT41J. So this is the one I have created and released inside my software. So you will see inside the web browser also the same component. Okay, so this is how you can see component. Yeah, I hope I have completed all my topics. Okay, okay, thank you. See you all in our next webinar. Thank you, bye.